What's up guys, my name is Patrick. Today we are installing this Flyin Miata timing wheel. This is a 36-2, and what this is going to do is overall just make this car run a little bit smoother because the ECU is going to be able to read a lot more resolution, and I will explain it a little bit more starting right now.
Hey guys, I just wanted to add in a little bit because I don't think there's a lot of good information on the internet with really how a crank sensor works and why you do a higher resolution timing wheel. So I figured we'd go through really quick and see how it all works. So basically the Miata has a magnetic pickup, and what that is basically it's pointed towards the timing wheel, and as these little nubs pass the crank sensor, it sends an AC signal to the ECU. So this is what the AC signal would look like in raw form, and then the ECU will change it to a square wave pattern. So basically each one of these squares is going to be one tooth, one trigger. So from that, the ECU will use that information to know where the crank is. Where the higher resolution timing wheel comes in is that you see, I drew out kind of what the ECU would see with a 4-to-1, the stock Miata crank wheel, and the 36-2, the Flyin Miata one. And basically you can see that there is 1 teeth, 2 teeth, 3 teeth, and then a missing tooth. But the issue here is how wide they are. So the problem is that you're not getting a high angular resolution, whereas with the 36-2, there's way more individual tooth counts in between the missing teeth. So mathematically what that gets you is that if you take the full rotation divided by 36 teeth, you get 10 degrees resolution with a Flyin Miata timing wheel, and with the stock one, you get 90 degrees resolution. So in the end, you're getting 9 times higher resolution. And that's important because the ECU uses the crank sensor signal to basically figure out where the crank is in regard to the cams as well. So basically the general engine position. And it's important for idle, cold starts, and most transient driving.
So for the NB2s, the install is actually pretty simple. For the NAs and the NB1s, I think it's a little bit different. I think they have to add like the crank sensor from the NB2 Miatas. So it's a little bit different if you have an NA and are looking at installing this. It will take a little bit more effort. But without further ado, let's go do this. Also, we actually kind of fixed the startup, so it's sort of good, kind of.
My heart thump, not from being nervous sometimes. I'm thinking God made me special here on purpose. So all the while till I'm gone, make my words important. So
to start off, what you're going to want to do, take your intake off. You're going to want to access all of the belts that you're going to take off. You're taking off both the accessory belts for the alternator side as well as the power steering and AC side.
With the Spurs. Have you ever heard of some shit so real?
So after you remove the accessory belts, you're going to want to take off these 10mm bolts that hold the pulley on. Be careful because they're pretty small. So. Okay, so here is the stock harmonic damper and or pulley, depending on your engineering vocabulary. And here we have the stock timing wheel. So you can see that it has these little notches. There's actually 4 of them. We are going to be moving to 36-2. So that's how we get more resolution. Oh yeah. All right, let's try that. This bottom one.
Yep, just make sure it feels good when it threads in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, buttery.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're going in.
Yeah. It's just, again, we can't apply the right force.
Yeah.
Because once we apply it on one side, the other side goes, and vice versa. So.
Oh, you know what? Oh,
Am I?
oh, the little knob is in a bolt hole.
Gotcha.
So it's got to go off and then a little bit this way. Yep, there it is. Now you're in.
And if I die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. So please don't cry, just know that I have made these songs for you. And if I die before I wake.
Okay, so we buttoned everything back up. The under tray is on. All of the timing wheel bolts are back in. Harmonic damper back in. All the belts back in. Everything's good. So we're going to start the car up. But before we do that, we have to make one key change in Megasport. All we are going to do, go into ignition settings, ignition options, and wheel decoder. So in spark mode, you see that we have Miata 99 to 05. That's our current setting. So all we're going to do is go down, find our Miata 36 minus 2, hit that, burn it, and that's all you should have to do. Alright, so that is it for today's video. This was actually a pretty clean install. This went way smoother than I thought it was going to be. And yeah, it's a very simple mod, and it adds a heck of a lot more resolution. So hopefully the car will be easier to tune. It'll be a little bit smoother. Cold starts and idle a little bit nicer. And yeah, no, I definitely recommend this. This is a very cheap mod. So anyone who has Megasquirt, you got my blessing. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And yeah, have a good one, guys.